Welcome back. All right, today's draft profile, we're going to talk about Zayne Parekh. Now, Zayne Parekh is a player who has really dazzled on the blue line for the Saginaw Spirit this year. And Saginaw has a chance to win the Memorial Cup tonight. And since I've profiled somebody who's playing for London that's in tonight's final game, I figured why not talk about the Saginaw Spirit defenseman who's very likely to go in the top 10 this year. I'm wearing generic NHL stuff because I've been trying to go in the order of the teams where they're drafting. Number 6 is Utah, and when I look at the Arizona Coyotes roster, Perekh could be exactly the kind of defenseman this team needs going into the future. He is one of those defensemen that will likely need somebody paired with him who's really, really good defensively. A Mark Mathot type, a Chris Tanev type. Somebody who can play really, really well defensively because it's not really Perekh's game. He stands 183 centimeters tall, 6 feet, 82 kilograms, and that also equals out to 181 pounds. So NHL projectable, 6 foot tall. That seems to be the minimum for some when it comes to defensemen. I say for some because as soon as a defenseman's below 6 feet, you'll hear, well, he's not that big, so we'll see what happens. But again, Perekh on Elite Prospects currently he's number 5. Hockey Prospect he's number 14. We'll see if that changes again when the Black Book comes out. Bob McKenzie's number 9, and with Sportsnet they have him at number 9. So likely a top 10 prospect. And his rankings gotten better throughout the season, although there are some holes in his game. So last year for Saginaw, 50 games, 21 goals, 16 assists, 37 points. Excellent to see a defenseman with over 20 goals. This year, again, for the Saginaw Spirit, 66 games, 33 goals, 63 assists, 96 points. So that's pretty fantastic. He is one of very few defensemen in recent times to hit the 20-goal mark as a blue liner, and he's done it 2 seasons in a row, and he's also passed 30 goals. So he is an excellent skater, and the offense, he has offense for days. His offensive instincts are fantastic. Now, very often with a defenseman who's this offensively gifted at the CHL level, the defense needs work, and it seems like when you look at the overall look at Perekh, early on in the season there was a lot of talk about defensively he looks lost. He can't his coverage. He blows his coverage. There's turnovers. He's kind of, you don't want to have him against the team's best forwards, like the other team's best forwards. He is all offense, but it seems like during the season he was working on that. He was working on the back checking. He does have issues with getting caught out of position, which again, for an offensive defenseman, that can be the case. But again, he's working on that. And everything that I've seen in scouting reports, he seems like he's a good down-to-earth guy. And so I have no reason to think that a general manager won't look at those offensive instincts, the goals he's put up with Saginaw, and say, you know what, we can draft him, we can work on the rest of it, because that offensive game is so tantalizing. Comparisons are made to Erik Karlsson, which seems to add up, right? Erik Karlsson was a 15th draft pick in his draft year by Ottawa, and he had some good years, if you haven't checked back. But the offensive potential for Perekh is compared to Erik Karlsson and other offensively minded defensemen. Again, he's going to need to work on the defensive side of it a little bit, but just those instincts are fantastic. He's likely to be on the first unit of a power play at the National Hockey League level. He is likely to be a top 2 defenseman in the National Hockey League. Excellent shot, good instincts on the rush. He knows how to get in the open. He thinks the game so well on the offensive side. You may just need somebody to coach him and say, okay, now you've got that in the offensive end. Here's what you do in the defensive end. And one of the reasons why I'm going generic and saying Utah, I thought about wearing a Coyotes jersey, but that seems odd since it's not Arizona that's picking. But anyways, Arizona's very good at defensemen and at turning defensemen around. Gostisbehere is one that they helped turn around. Durzee's played quite well for them, and Durzee's seen as an offense-first power play guy. So Perekh kind of fits in, and Perekh's offense is so much higher than what Sean Durzee's provided, at least the offensive ceiling, and I say that not as an insult to Durze, but as a compliment to Perekh. I can't see him being out there for that long. I don't think we're going to see teams going, well, I mean, he could be a 30-goal defenseman in the NHL, but the defense, I do think he's going to go relatively quickly. He was also, last night, named the CHL Defenseman of the Year. And when interviewed about it, he didn't say he didn't care about being named Defenseman of the Year, but he basically admitted it's cool and all. Just think about this. You are named the best defenseman in the CHL, and your response is, yeah, that's cool and all, but I'm focused on tomorrow's game, meaning the final tonight between London and Saginaw. Now, whether that's just what he had practiced or whether it's how he really felt, the fact that he has this, yeah, the individual trophy's nice, but I want to win with my team tomorrow, it says a lot about his character. And so I think that a GM hearing that, his ears will perk up and he'll be like, hey, this is great. He wins an award for Defenseman of the Year, doesn't say a whole lot about how great he is, just talks about his great teammates, how he wants to win, and Saginaw, and that's what he's focused on. So I can't see how this does anything but help his stock with teams. We'll see how he does in the interview process leading up to the draft. That can cause guys to rise or fall. But everything I've seen about Parekh, he's got the right attitude, he's got the talent, and he absolutely has all the tools necessary to reach the NHL. If he does get his defensive game a little more in order, the sky's the limit. But the offense is so strong with him, I can't see him lasting that long on the draft board. And if he does, some teams that are further down might start calling and going, so we want to move up and get Perekh. What's it going to take? Because, again, offensive defensemen that could score potentially 30 goals in a season at the NHL level, or at the very least 20 to 25, they don't grow on trees. They're not all that hard to find. Or they're not all that easy to find. They're very hard to find. Good thing I caught myself on that one. So let me know your thoughts. Where do you think Perekh goes? Again, I'll do an official mock draft soon. I just want to get through some more of these prospects first. I'm not going to do like 40 or 50 like I did. I think it was in 2020. I did a whole ton of them. We had time in 2020. But I'm going to do a few more, and then we'll do the mock draft. And I'll probably do the mock draft just up to 16, which usually makes people frustrated. Like, well, why doesn't he go further? I feel like up until 16 makes sense. After that, you're just kind of guessing. It's really guesswork from there. But I don't think he stays on the board that long. Let me know your thoughts. Where would you like to see him end up, or where do you think he will end up? So which team would you like to see draft him? Which team do you think will draft him? Will the defensive aspect cause him to drop a little bit, or will the offense be strong enough that, he's still going to go really early? Let me know your thoughts. Hit like and subscribe if you've not done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.